guys, welcome to our video. Today we're going to be talking about cardiovascular training. I'm Ad.
I'm Jonelle.
And let's get started.
Cardiovascular endurance in the gym refers to the ability of the heart, lungs and blood vessels and their ability to efficiently deliver oxygen to the muscles during prolonged physical activity. A benefit of improving cardiovascular endurance would be increased stamina, which enables longer and more intense workouts, improved heart health, which includes reducing the risk of heart disease, enhanced fat burning, which boosts calorie burn and supports weight loss. It also helps with better lung capacity as it increases the oxygen intake and efficiency, which further helps with cardiovascular endurance. And finally, it reduces fatigue, which delays muscle tiredness during exercise.
Okay guys, so the first machine we're going to be using today is the rowing machine. How we use the rowing machine is that we place our feet onto the placement, we will strap our feet on to make sure we're nice and secure and safe. Then we will grab our hands and we will hold onto the handle, take it off, and we are going to be bending our knees and pulling backwards, just like so. The benefits of using a rowing machine is that it is a full body workout. This means that it engages in multiple muscle groups such as the legs, the core and the upper body, which means it provides a very balanced workout. Another benefit is that it is low impact, which means it provides an effective workout with minimal stress on the joints. This means that it helps and it is ideal for people who have concerns on joints or want to avoid injuries. Another benefit is that it is calorie burning, which means it helps people with weight loss by burning a significant amount of calories during this intense session. However, there are limitations to using the rowing machine. One of them is that it is a learning curve. You must have proper form as it is crucial to avoid any injury, especially to the lower back, and it can take time to master. One more limitation is that it is not as effective for the upper body. This means that it engages the upper body, however, it doesn't fully target the muscles such as the chest and the arms, which means that you have to use other machines to target those specific muscles.
So, I'll be telling you how to get on the treadmill correctly and its benefits and disadvantages. So, when first using it, you get onto it, stepping on either side. Stepping onto the main strip of the treadmill itself runs the risk of falling off the edge as it rolls. So, stepping on either side to ensure your safety. In the middle, and make sure to use this clip. This is so when you're running, you may trip over this pool, so it stops. The way to start this is, of course, clicking quick start. It will give you a countdown, and you can use these different programs to change how you wish to exercise. Using a treadmill offers several advantages and disadvantages, and benefit of this would be convenience, as treadmills allow for indoor walking or running to be in a controlled environment regardless of weather conditions. Another benefit would be customizable workouts, as you can adjust how fast or the incline of your workout to fit your fitness levels and goals. Another benefit would be cardiovascular health, as this improves it by stimulating the feeling of walking or running. However, this does come with disadvantages, as a limitation of this would be the impact it has on your joints. The repetitive motion can lead to stress on your knees, hips and lower back, and can potentially cause discomfort and injury. Another disadvantage of this would be the cost, as high quality treadmills can be very expensive, ranging from prices of £1,000 to £5,000.
The machine that we're going to be using is the Stairmaster. The Stairmaster is quite a popular piece of cardio equipment which stimulates climbing the stairs. The way we safely get onto the Stairmaster is we usually have 2 steps on the side. We'll get onto those. Once you're secure and stable, you stand onto the middle. Once you're ready and you are prepared to start your workout, you will press whichever level you would like to go on and you start climbing the stairs. Make sure you're nice and secure. If you feel like you need to emergency stop or get off, there is usually a button on the side or on the top of the screen which you can press. There are benefits and limitations to using the Stairmaster. I'll start off with the benefits first. The benefits of using the Stairmaster is that it targets the lower body strength and toning. This means that it targets key lower body muscle groups such as including the glutes, quads, hamstrings and the calves. Another benefit of the Stairmaster is that it's good for cardiovascular fitness. It provides an excellent cardio workout, improving heart health and lung capacity over the time. Another benefit that is quite important and it helps in using the Stairmaster is that it's calorie burning. This means that it burns efficient calories due to its intensity, making it a good option for weight loss or fat loss goals. However, there were always limitations to all of the machines that you use. The limitations of using the Stairmaster is that it only focuses on the lower body. This means that while it's effective for the legs and the glutes, it doesn't provide an upper body workout, making it less comprehensive than machines like the rower or the assault bike. Another limitation is that it is repetitive motion. The repetitive stair climber motion can become very boring and less motivating, meaning that if you're doing longer sessions, you can get quite frustrated or stressed out because you're doing the same thing over again. And last limitation that we have is the risk of overuse injuries. Overuse in improper forms, such as leaning too heavily on handrails, can strain the knees, hips or the back, which means when you are on the Stairmaster, you must focus on proper form, making sure you're keeping your back straight and your legs going in the motion.
This is a assault bike. I'm showing you how to get on safely. So what you do is that you get on the lowest step as you get on the highest one. It's going to move and that's not safe. So you get on, step on the other. Make sure that when you get onto the bike itself, this leg is bent, because if it's locked, then the seat's too high for you, so you need to set it. So you got both sides here and you push on that leg and the pattern will start. You just move like this. Here allows you to change the resistance so you can customize it. The assault bike is a popular piece of cardio equipment. However, it does always have its benefits and limitations. A benefit of this is that you get a full body workout, as this bike engages your upper body and your lower body, utilizing your arms, shoulders, chest, core and legs. Another advantage of this would be the high intensity training, because if you are an athlete, for example, using this allows you to get an ideal HIIT, which stands for high intensity interval training, because of course it allows you to increase the intensity for short bursts and recovery effectively. Another benefit of this would be that it is customizable. Because of the fact that the resistance is fan generated, this means that the pedaling and the pushing, it can be changed by resistance. So, of course, this bike does have limitations. A limitation of this would be, for example, that the intensity can become overwhelming, as this can be very intimidating for beginners or those with low fitness levels. Another would be the fact that, of course, since it's fan generated, it will become noisy and might be disruptive in certain environments. Another disadvantage or limitation could be that it requires proper form. So you can't be slouching or relying on your arms itself. So having the proper form and being able to do this correctly is key in order to get the proper workout.
The treadmill and the assault bike are both variable machines, as you can change the intensity and the speed. However, these machines may not be used for groups such as prenatal and older people. As with prenatal, using intense machines such as the treadmill can run a high risk of injury. So, for example, if one thing goes wrong and a prenatal woman falls, that could injure both her child and herself. For older people, as their bones are a lot more fragile due to their older age, of course, and falling down for them could result in broken bones or just overall pain.
So, first I'll be talking about is jumping jacks. Jumping jacks are a full aerobic exercise that involves coordinated movements of the arms and legs. The starting position is that you need to be standing upright with your feet together and your arms at your sides. Then you'll proceed to jump with your arms spread like this and your legs separated. Then you will quickly jump back into starting position with your arms down and your legs together. And you repeat this movement as many times as you need to complete your set. Jumping jacks have multiple benefits. One would be, for example, it's full body engagement, as it engages your glutes, quadriceps, hip flexors, and shoulders. Also benefits cardiovascular health, as jumping jacks helps elevate your heart rate, which improves aerobic capacity, which helps reduce blood pressure and decreases the risk of cardiovascular disease. Another benefit would be the fact that jumping jacks are a calorie burning and weight management exercise, as the high intensity nature of jumping jacks makes them effective in burning calories and supporting weight loss efforts. Limitations of jumping jacks are as follows. So one would be, for example, joint stress, as the high impact nature of jumping jacks can place stress on your knees and ankles, which can increase the risk of injury, especially with people who already have pre-existing joint issues. Another limitation would be the fact that it's not suitable for everyone, as once again, people with joint problems, especially in the knees and ankles, they find that high impact exercises can exacerbate discomfort. The last limitation I'll be talking about is the risk it has towards your body if you do not have the proper form. Without using proper form in jumping jacks, for example, when you take off and land a bit wrong, it could risk muscle strain or injury, and the only way to get the maximum benefits and to minimize risk is to have the correct form.
The next exercise we're going to be talking about is box step-ups. Box step-ups are a functional strength and cardio exercise performed by stepping onto a raised platform, such as a box. This movement mimics climbing stairs and focuses primarily on the lower body while also engaging the core for stability. To perform box step-ups, first you have to stand at upright position, feet hip width apart. To step up onto the box, you will lift one leg up, place your feet pushing onto your heel, up, following by the other. To step back down into starting position, you will place the other leg down, back onto your heel, following by the other. You will repeat this set until you are finished. There are many benefits of box step-ups. One of them is that it supports the lower body strength. This means that it primarily targets the quads, the glutes, hamstrings, and the calves, helping it build strength and tone in the lower body. Another benefit is that it improves balance and stability. As it engages with the core muscles, it enhances balance and overall coordination. Another benefit is that there is functional movement, which means it mimics daily activities such as climbing the stairs or walking, improving real-life movement, efficiency, and performance. One more benefit is that it is low impact on joints, which means compared to high impact exercises like jumping jacks, box step-ups are gentle on the knees and the ankles, making them suitable for people who have joint concerns. However, there are always limitations of the box step-ups. One of them is that it has a high risk in knee strain. If performed incorrectly or with the box that's too high, box step-ups can be an excessive stress on the knees, especially with those who have existing knee issues. Another limitation is that there is limited upper body engagement, which means that primarily this is a lower body exercise. It doesn't significantly work on the upper body unless weights are incorporated. Another limitation is that it is dependent on proper form. So if there is poor technique such as momentum instead of muscle engagement, this can reduce the effectiveness and increase in injury risk.
Spy dogs are a dynamic full-body cardio exercise often used in warm-ups. They resemble a modified version of jumping jacks with an alternating leg and arm movement, mimicking a running movement. So, when performing spy dogs, you stand upright, of course, your feet together and your arms by your sides. You then jump and alternate your arms and legs. So you jump with one leg backwards and the other stays forward, similar to a lunge position. So you'll be like this. Then simultaneously, you swing your arms the opposite. So this leg goes forward and this arm goes forward, simultaneously opposite. So you switch sides in between the jumping, so you go one, jump, and you repeat this with how many sets you want to do.
The last exercise we are going to be doing are bunny hops. It is a dynamic movement that mimics the hopping motion of a rabbit. It involves jumping with both feet together, either forward, backwards, or side-to-side direction, landing softly and immediately preparing for the next jump. So how to perform a bunny hop is that you need to stand upright and your feet together, knees are going to be slightly bent, and your hands are going to be by your side. To perform the jump, you are going to place your hands securely on the bench. You are going to bend your knees and you are just going to jump over to your other side, just like this. You can repeat this motion as many times to finish your set. And once you land, make sure you land on your feet nice and softly and you are prepared to do your next jump.
The continuous method of cardiovascular training is where an individual performs a ready state activity of a consistent intensity for a long period of time, usually about 20 minutes to a few hours. Activities such as running, cycling, swimming, or rowing are common examples of what would happen in a continuous method of training for cardiovascular. The intensity of this is usually at a moderate level of 60 to 75% of your maximum heart rate. There are multiple advantages to doing continuous training. However, I will highlight 3 advantages and 2 disadvantages. One advantage of continuous training would be its improved cardiovascular health improvements as it enhances lung and heart activity over time. Another would be that it is fat burning, as it uses fat as a fuel source during its prolonged exercises, as well as not being low complex activity, as it's easy to perform and requires minimal equipment. A disadvantage of continuous training would be that it's time consuming, as it requires a lot longer workout session, and also it has limited variety, as it can become very repetitive and lead to a loss in motivation in participants.
Interval training is a method of exercise that alternates between high intensity effort and low intensity recovery. This approach improves cardiovascular endurance, speed, and overall fitness. For example, a runner might sprint for 1 minute, then walk or jog for 2 minutes, repeating the cycle several times. There are many advantages and disadvantages in interval training. The advantages are that it improves cardiovascular fitness. Regular interval training increases aerobic capacity, making the heart more efficient. Another one is time efficiency. It provides a highly effective workout in a shorter time compared to other cardio. The last advantage we have is that it increases anaerobic capacity, means it enhances the body's ability to perform short bursts of high intensity activity. However, there are many disadvantages of interval training, such as risk of injury. High intensity can constrain the muscles and joints, especially for beginners. Another disadvantage is that it requires recovery time, meaning due to its intensity, it may require more rest periods, limiting how frequently the sets are done. Last disadvantage is that it is not suitable for everyone. People with certain health conditions and low fitness health may struggle with the level of intensity.
Fartlek training for cardiovascular endurance is a form of interval training that blends both continuous training with periods of varying intensity. It is a flexible and non-structured method that allows athletes to alternate between different speeds, terrains, intensity levels, and how they feel during the workout. Unlike continuous, this fartlek training is engaging and has more variety in its workouts, as its unstructured nature allows for more freedom in movement. The final advantage of this would be that it's accessible to all levels, as it can be suitable for both beginners and elite athletes, as it can be easily modified. Some disadvantages of fartlek training would be, though, that its lack of structure can cause it to seem unplanned and may not relate to people who prefer more organized training programs or specific performance goals. Another disadvantage would be that there's a risk of overexertion, as once again, due to the unplanned manner of the training, athletes may push themselves a bit too hard during the intense phase, leading to fatigue or injury.
I'm going to be talking about 3 different examples of training methods used in spin classes to boost your cardiovascular endurance, along with their pros and cons and who they are best for. The first one I'm going to talk about is steady state continuous training. This is a ride at steady, moderate pace for a longer period of time, which can go between 20 to 60 minutes. However, there are advantages and disadvantages. The advantages are that it can build a strong aerobic base for heart and lung strength. And another one can be it is a lower risk of injury, and easy for beginners or with those with health issues. Disadvantages is that it can get really boring and you can focus less on speed and power improvement. Steady state continuous training is best for beginners or people who have health issues. Next training I'm going to be talking about is interval training. Interval training is alternative between short bursts of high intensity and low intensity recovery periods. One advantage is that it can improve both endurance and power really quickly, and it is an efficient workout that will save you time. The disadvantages is that it's very intense and it may be hard for beginners or people with health issues. Another disadvantage is that if you have poor form during these intense bursts, it can lead to injury. People that benefit from this are intermediate to advanced riders or those who are in really good shape. Next training I'm going to be talking about is progressive training. This is where it gradually increases the intensity and reach at its peak and then slowly decreases back to a lower level. The advantages is that it provides a variety and keeps the workout very engaging. Another one can be that it mimics real-world cycling with changing speeds and resistance. However, the disadvantages is that it can be challenging for those to follow if the pace changes too quickly. Another disadvantage is that it's not as consistent as high level of training.
Here are 3 HIIT methods used in group cardiovascular endurance training. One of these would be tabulated intervals. These are a fixed cycle of 20-second maximum effort exercises followed by 10 seconds of rest and then repeated 4 times, usually for about 8 rounds. An advantage of this would be that it is time efficient as it is quick and intense, so the workout is only about a few minutes long. It's also high in calorie burn as an all-out effort create an afterburn effect for additional calories burned even after the session. However, this does come with disadvantages. One of these would be that it is very intense, so it can be challenging for beginners or those with health issues, as well as being very repetitive as limited exercise variety can lead to boredom and improper form when fatigue sets in. Spin intervals, which is alternating between short bursts of maximum speed for about 30 to 50 seconds, and then the recovery time of a low intensity workout. This is good for multiple reasons. An example of this would be that it improves speed and endurance, as it enhances both aerobic and anaerobic systems, as well as being flexible as the work and rest durations can be adjusted. However, this also does come with disadvantages. One would be that it is physically demanding, as it requires a lot of good technique and strength to be able to complete, because without this it could cause risk for poor form when tired. Another example of a disadvantage would be that it has a very high injury risk, as rapid sprints without any proper warm-up or technique may lead to injuries. This would suit people who have advanced to intermediate ability with their fitness, as good fitness and form is needed to be able to complete this. The last I will be talking about is circuit-based HIIT. This combines exercises such as jumping jacks, burpees and high knees in a circuit format, which each exercise is done at a high intensity for a set between 30 to 60 minutes with short breaks in between. An advantage of doing this would be that it has a lot of variety, as the workout keeps changing due to the alternating exercises. Another advantage of this would be that it can be a full body workout, as it improves overall fitness by combining cardiovascular and strength elements. However, this also does come with disadvantages, such as being more complex, as switching between exercises can affect form if not done properly, and also the fact that when doing this type of circuit, you need to have a lot of equipment and a lot of space, as sometimes it requires to have a lot of space depending on the exercises which are chosen.
In a fitness context, boot camps is a group exercise program inspired by military-style training. These sessions combine a variety of exercising, including cardiovascular drills, strength training, agility, and endurance work, designed to push participants and improve overall fitness rapidly. The advantages in boot camps are that it's a full body workout. It incorporates with both cardiovascular and strength exercises, providing a balanced approach to fitness. Another advantage is it is good for group motivation. The group environment creates teamwork and provides encouragement to push through challenging exercises. However, there are disadvantages. The disadvantages are that it is high intense, that means it can be overwhelming. Boot camps are physically demanding, which can be intimidating or unsuitable for beginners or individuals with certain health conditions. Another disadvantage is that there is a risk of poor form. This means that fast-paced workouts can compromise technique, especially for beginners, increasing the risk of injury. Thank you for watching our video about CV training. We hope you enjoyed it.